Well, regardless of whether you believe in the grand solar minimum or not, guys, it's definitely arid here in Thailand, and on the farm it's really struggling. So today I thought I'd give you a walk round and just show you the impact that it's having on our land here. Okay, so we're approaching about 4 months since we've had proper rain here. I've never seen anything like it. We're not expecting any more rain or proper rain until June. All the farms around here now are vacant, apart from the ones that are growing trees and the ones that have got cassava in there. They just can't grow anything, because over the back of this farm here, running all the way along, as far as you can see, is quite a big river. It's bone dry, absolutely bone dry. Now there are a few ponds around here, most of them are bone dry. Water hungry crops like sweet corn and rice, there's no way that they can regrow again. So let's just show you what we're up against just outside our house here. You can see the ground's just gone like powder. If I just kick it up, terrible. And this is one of the problems that we're getting. Not only is it dry here, the leaves can't photosynthesize, so it's a big problem. Our fruit trees in a little orchard over there where we've got all the poultry, they're just constantly covered in that. So we are watering with the irrigation once a day, but I'm having to actually hose down the trees as well. It's just terrible. Look, it's just our old wild chili. It's still alive, but it can't compete with this dust. My leaves, still loads to pick up. I have been doing it quite a bit. There's still more to go. See the farm here, he hasn't even bothered squashing it all down. Then it will just turn to dust anyway. Might as well just leave it like this and create a bit of shadow on the soil. So our eucalyptus, no problem at all with those. I wouldn't say that they're growing particularly quickly at the moment, but they're all right. You can see there's plenty of leaves on them. A few of them are going to seed. I don't know whether it's the right thing to do, but I've been picking the seeds off the ones that have been going to seed, the ones that I can bend down and whip off anyway. And you can see here, although they look wispy, these are our new ones that were put in about a year ago. They're picking up nicely now, so once the rains come, their roots are established enough now that everything should rocket. Hopefully they'll be as tall as the other ones that we've planted. And we've had this dry wind for about 2 weeks now. It's like a hot hairdryer, but when it kicks up this, I don't know what you call it, it's not clay. They put this like a resurface the road down here, but it's just basically so dry that when the trucks and that go over it just rips it all up. You can see I've been clearing down here. I've not done it for a couple of weeks, but I've been collecting all these up and putting them around the bamboo. Now look at the bamboo. It's not dead, but we've had to, what could we say? We've had to sacrifice its growth, and it's to do with the water on the land. Now we have got the lake, we've still got loads of water in, but here's the thing. Next week, hopefully early next week, the lake dig is set to recommence, and it's going to at least double in size. So the depth of the water is going to be halved. So what I mean is, if you had, God, that wind's getting strong, hopefully the audio's picking up. If you had one bucket that was full of water and you increased the number of buckets twofold, then each bucket would be half full. Of course there's lots of fish in the lake, so we don't want to make it too low. Right, so what I've been doing, you might be able to hear it, this is like a massive mattress. I must have done over 100 wheelbarrows of leaves off the road. You can see an old ant's nest as well. These are the big old red ants. And around the bases of the bamboos, I've made it even deeper. So there you go. So whatever moisture is underneath there, it's got a bit of a fighting chance. But I haven't been able to do all of these. We did have irrigation pipe work put in here. It is still in here, but it's in 1,000 pieces. I think I was saying earlier the people who cleared in here didn't see the pipe work, 'cause admittedly there was a lot of weeds and they slashed through it in so many places. We just can't switch it on now anyway. The bamboo is being left to fend for itself. The goats are in here most days for about an hour and they are eating this sort of stuff. You can see there's not an awful lot growing on the ground apart from that now. There's certainly no grass anymore. Let's show you around the other side. Fucking rubbish. I came out here 2 days ago. They were digging out their cassava over there and they'd all been having lunch underneath these trees and just litter absolutely everywhere, and Gang, our dog, had made it worse because she was then helping herself to all the plastic bags and cartons that were left out. Just everywhere in the land here, some stuff being blown in there and some stuff the dog dragging in there. I don't know whether people have been throwing it in there or not. And they were all still sat there. I just come out with a plastic bag and picked it all up in front of them, but whatever. These eucalyptus are 2 years old. So you can imagine, you know, the stuff that we've got is 1 year old. The next rainy season, this is what we're looking at. And that's going to look nice and impressive and finally get some height in the middle of the farm. Whew, that is Betty Swallocks, that is. I'll just show you a close-up of the size of them. That's not bad. Not bad. We have got these small ones that we replanted along here. Someone drove straight over them. I do still need to come round and chop these dead branches. I don't know whether it has much of an impact on it or not. And let them concentrate the power growing up higher. I don't know, but most people you see doing that. You can see on the lower ones here, it's quite easy. To me, it makes sense. It's a bit like deadheading your flowers. Mum would be proud, wouldn't you, Fran? So I'm going to show you the palms. Now, palms are incredibly thirsty. I know bamboo are, and eucalyptus. Oh, that's a nice size eucalyptus. That's a bit bigger. Look. That's not bad for 2 years. Very fast growing. Yeah, so as I was saying, the palms, the bamboo and the eucalyptus are very thirsty trees. But our palms would die without water, whereas the bamboo and the eucalyptus are fine. So we have been watering these. Again, we haven't got the irrigation, so once a week, or twice a week really, I come out with the giant hose and we run the solar driven pump out of the lake, and that's quite good. I've got so much mulch down here. Again, it's like a big mattress. That is helping. Normally after a week, if you go and have a look, you just pull the mulch back, there is a little bit of moisture still there, so that's fine. And we're still organic, guys. We are getting the odd little nibbly bit here, but it's nothing too bad. And most importantly, the new shoots, so the new leaves that are coming out, are okay. The goats do have a little nibble on here, but they do all know their names, so they get shouted at and then they stop. So they might just come along and grab a couple of leaves and pull that off like that, and it's nothing. But they tend not to get the new stuff in the middle. It's just the bits on the outside. Basically any bits that look gopping. Right, I'll just show you the old quicksand pond. If you remember our first catching fish in the mud video, not the last one where Toon got stabbed by a catfish fin. Just got to be careful, the old wasps' nests. There's not so many now. As it gets drier, the wasps seem to bugger off somewhere else. You can see it's all crispy stuff. It's just absolutely turning to dust, this place. I found a weed that the goats don't like. It's not just our goats. One farm that we went to, where he lets his goats out onto pasture, this is the only thing that was left. So they might eat it, when it goes like that. Some of the weeds that they eat now, they eat them when they get dry, and they get the seed head, so they might eat those in the future, but not at the moment. There's too much food remaining. This is where Toon and I spent a whole day, well, it was a day and a half in here, catching fish with the net and by hand and by bucket. And look at these. Doesn't look it, but these go down about a foot, these cracks, and there'll be fish under here. I'm not bullshitting. So you get air breathing fish like some of the catfish, the snakehead, climbing perch. Some of you might know that as the doctor fish, or as Thai people call it, fish doctor. And yeah, they're all underneath, or some of them are underneath there. They're waiting for the rains, and then they'll pop back up again. Well, some of them will. So dry as a bone now. Well, we always knew it would be. It was just trying to preserve as much, or hold back as much water on the land for as long as we could. And it's done well. We got loads of fish out of it. And also, because it's been one of the last things to dry up, there's still lots of fresh vegetation down there. It doesn't look a lot from here, but that was full of pak bung, the morning glory, for quite a while. So that fed the goats for a good month or so. Speaking of which, there they are over there. The rebel horde. I suppose this might be a good place to show you the drop in levels. If I can get down to the here without breaking my ankles. Okay, so at the height of the rainy season, where I'm stood now is normally under about an inch or two of water. Okay, it normally goes up to just about the base of here. So this is where our fishing platforms are going to go. So they're just going to be like little raised areas and then steps down. So as the water drops, people can still fish comfortably at the edge. Now you can see how much it's dropped there. Now top of the height of the rainy season, it's just about touching the top. So we haven't had a particularly heavy rainy season since we've had this dug. So that's why when the excavator comes next week, hopefully, he's actually going to drag most of the soil up here. We are going to use a lot of it for another access road. We're going to change our access way on the farm, but that's going to get raised a good couple of feet. This area here is going to at least double in width, so the height of the water is going to drop by a good half. So I'm not sure how far it's got to go down before you can see the springs topping it back up. What I mean by that is normally you can see where the water is ingressing on the side. So that was quite impressive early on when we first had it dug, but now's the perfect time to get it done. Bone dry. I've never seen it this dry before. Toon hasn't either, and we're set for some more dry weather for a prolonged period of time. So if it is June, oh my god, I do feel for people. The mayor came and had a word with Toon only last week. He said, "Oh, you've still got water in your lake, haven't you, Toon?" And yes, that's right, Mayor. There's loads of farms with no water. Is it all right for them to come and suck the water out of your lake? And it didn't feel nice, but she declined. And well, for very good reason. Around here, depending on what sort of land you got, you can get a pond dug for free by the government. You just pay for the diesel. So the actual hiring of the macro is free. So for a decent sized water holding pond to irrigate your land, you're looking at about 2,000, 2,500, and that'll be about 4.5 meters deep. I don't know why more people haven't spent that small amount, because it will make a huge difference. All right, Blackjack. It's a bit high for you to get your water there. Not an issue over the far side. It's all very, very sloping and easy for them to get down near the edge. Don't worry about goats falling in. They're goats. Goats don't fall. I think goats are adrenaline junkies. They like to go the most dangerous place to get the most rubbish food. But, they seem to enjoy doing it, and they'll run as well, just to make it even more daring. No, they're never sliding. Goats can swim anyway. So you might think, oh well, Lee, that's your idea of a goat island that's pants then. They don't like to swim, but they can swim. Dangmo's there. There's little Ruby Rocket. And behind the old girl Geraldine, there's Owenetta. And near Blackie, that's her landscape. There's Sam. And can't see Namoi, so she's hiding in the sugarcane. Oh no, that's PJ. So they look the bloody same. All goats look the bloody same, don't they? Sound like a racist. There's Sam in there, and the little one will be with her. She likes to stay in the sugarcane and keep out the sun. So she's a week old today. Once they're a week old, get them out, and you can see little Dangmo there. She's eating all the vegetation as well as still getting the milk off her mum. And once they start eating vegetation, they grow so quick. Look at the size of Owenetta there. She was born on the 22nd of December. All the sugarcane's still growing well. The goats are gradually getting through it. We don't actually grow the sugarcane here on the land. This was left over from people who initially rented the land from us before we moved here. And it didn't grow very well, so they just bloody left it in. They didn't take it out. I wouldn't say it's all going to get ripped out. It's not worth ripping it out if the goats are quite happy to eat it. But it is going to get squashed and thrown about a bit once all the soil is getting dumped on there. Of course, we'll have to have a tractor and get it all balanced out as well. So there's not going to be much fodder on here until we can get some rain. But that's okay. We've got plenty of weeds for the goats to graze on, or browse on rather, on the rest of the land. So don't forget, we've got 50 rye here, 5 or 6 rye for all the ponds, this bit here, and the buildings, and then the rest they can eat on all of it really. A little bit where we've got the poultry, they can't go in there. The bit that we rent out, well, let Toon's mum rent it out. That's got cassava in there. Toon's mum is on about growing some trees in there in the next rainy season. Whether that'll happen or not, I don't know. You know what it's like out here. If that's the case, then we'll have an additional 10 rye to let the animals out on. Oh, a little bit of shade underneath this old Sadao tree. Ah, that reminds me. I did notice an unusual shape that this tree has. Bear with me. Now this tree is definitely female, and I'll show you how I know. So there's her 2 feet. Her legs come up, and there's something there, and there's her arms, and there's her head. So I'm not a gynecologist, but that is definitely a female tree. Right, I think that'll do for today. Stay tuned for the big lake dig project. It's going to be coming up soon. That is very exciting. All right, my dear.